All right, we're back. Two parts with Cody Butler. First one we talked about UFC. It was a doozy. This one we're coming back. That was Saturday night. We're looking at Sunday night. SummerSlam, the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. Pay-per-view, whatever. I don't even know if they have pay-per-views anymore. Second biggest.
They still call it that.
Yeah, second biggest show of the year other than WrestleMania. Biggest party of the summer. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to get into that and more. The first podcast, it was everything UFC. This one's going to be WWE. We're going to talk mostly about SummerSlam. We're going to hit on a few different points, though. Started off, the brand extension. Raw and SmackDown being separated. You having a draft, exclusive rosters. You follow it. You watch it pretty much every week, right?
Yeah.
How do you think it's played out so far?
I think it did good. I think it showed made a lot of room rather for NXT guys to come up.
I think there's a lot of depth on this roster.
Old talent, Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah. I don't think this roster is pound for pound maybe quite as good as it was in the Attitude Era when you had Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, a young Triple H, Shawn Michaels, all those guys like that.
You're not ever going to duplicate that again.
No, you won't ever duplicate that again. But pound for pound, I think that this roster has a ton of talent. Maybe not as many superstars. Maybe not. There's only Cena, Lesnar, Rollins, Reigns, Ambrose, Orton.
Absolutely.
Maybe you don't have as many. You don't have as many bigger stars, but everybody can go. Everybody can wrestle. You got a good product. I was kind of skeptical when they first did the draft. I didn't agree with everything they did. Like there was kind of certain things like. I would have rather seen certain superstars go to different rosters. I think Cesaro would have been a better guy to go to SmackDown, where there's maybe a little bit less competition, so he can showcase a little better. I'm a big fan of his, but little nitpicky stuff like that.
I think they kind of left Raw for the up and comers, and SmackDown for the kind of older guys.
I got it. Yeah, I got that kind of feeling too. They bring in a lot of youth and stuff to Raw. Which it's a 3-hour show, and man, I don't care what you're watching. It's hard to watch something for 3 hours. Mm-hmm. So I think they kind of making the right decision with that. But overall, the shows, Raw and especially SmackDown, have been, to me, a lot better since they've done this. You don't have the same storylines every show, and it's just a different feel, I think. And I think it's working out better. I'm really a big fan of the two GMs. Mick Foley coming back to Raw and general manager. I love Mick Foley, man.
Yeah.
And then I think Daniel Bryan is doing Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon are good for SmackDown too.
Yeah. I like the way they left Heath Slater.
That is a good storyline, man. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Heath Slater is I like Heath Slater, man. He's having a good storyline right now. So basically Heath Slater is a free agent. He's like having to fight somebody every week, and he's a lovable loser, basically. What he is.
They say in real life that's a bad dude.
Really?
He's a bare knuckle boxing champion.
Okay. I tell you what, he got in there with Lesnar and took some suplexes.
Yeah.
So overall, we both kind of agree that the brand extension, we don't love everything, nitpicky stuff, but it's worked out so far so good, for the most part, I think.
Absolutely.
Real quick, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2 was this weekend. You said you didn't watch. I didn't watch it live. It was the same. Well, definitely didn't watch. It was the same night as UFC 202. But biggest thing to come from it is Shinsuke Nakamura fought Mojo and got the title. And I think broke Joe's jaw on that running knee. I mean, he didn't do it on purpose, but they had a damn good match. Stiff. Strong, looked like a Brock Lesnar match.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be long before both of those guys make their way to the main roster.
I think that's, most time when you lose the NXT belt, the next step is Raw or SmackDown.
I think there's another. I think they can make some more money with Joe and Nakamura rematch, but I think Joe is headed to the main roster. He's older too.
He's earned it.
Yeah, he's earned it.
TNA the dues.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so without further ado, let's get into SummerSlam. Basically breaking the matches down by down. Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, they've reformed the tag team now. I was kind of skeptical because I was like, Kevin Owens should be a main event star. He's championship worthy. I like him a lot, and I still think he is. But him and Jericho have a nice little feel to him. I think.
Yeah.
They both love to talk shit. So
absolutely, and both of them are great at it too.
Yeah. They fought Enzo and Cass, tag team, who I think is one of the up-and-coming. That Enzo Amore kid can talk you into the building.
Yeah, he can.
Big Cass is a big son of a bitch. He's 7 foot tall, so and you can't beat that or whatever he said.
Can't teach that.
Can't teach that. Yeah. I like both of these teams. You know, Jericho obviously has paid his dues and he is what he is. He's had a Hall of Fame career. Kevin Owens is up and coming. I think his time will come in the main event as the #1 heel. Might take him longer to get there just because of he doesn't look like a Seth Rollins, but I think that's good that he doesn't look like.
But you need that.
You need that. Need some different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy at home's in there. That guy looks like me, except he can cut a moonsault up top rope.
Right.
Yeah, you need that.
Yeah. Big Cass and Enzo, man, I think they're the #1 babyface team in the company. So,
always entertaining.
Yeah, always entertaining. I don't think it'll be long before they have those tag titles. But Team Jericho, they beat Enzo and Cass. You know, good match, whatever.
Thing that hurts them in the tag team division is a club.
The club are up there with
New Day. I mean, that's kind of a battle right now. That kind of hurts them.
Yeah, they're kind of in limbo. They don't really have a really good storyline because the tag team division isn't quite as deep as it was about a year ago.
But you can make it look that way if you bounce the belt around between the three. If you do it right.
If you do it right. Well, let's skip ahead since we're talking about tag teams. This match didn't happen until a little bit down the card, but the club, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, coming from Japan, beat the New Day. Or actually, it was like a DQ finish or some shit like that.
Yeah, Big E came back.
Big E came back. Man, I'll tell you what, I don't really like how they booked Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows so far. When they first booked them, they came in, they destroyed everything one night, and I was like, oh, it's going to be good and stuff like that. And then even when they put them with AJ for a month or whatever, it was still good. But they haven't, you know, they lost a couple of matches on TV and stuff like that. Keep them strong, you know. I think that New Day, I really do like them. They're really entertaining. I think their run is kind of came and happened with the belts, though. What do you think?
I agree.
You think
that's not something you keep continuing on? Kind of like the Shield, if they wouldn't have broke up, they can still be going strong right now.
Right, because they were
Wyatt family, same thing.
Yeah.
I think they broke both of those up too early.
Yeah.
But New Day, so many times you come out there and cut a joke
and you know, it's funny and stuff like that. And I don't want to get it wrong. Like, Kofi is a great wrestler.
He is a hell of an athlete.
Big E is a big son of a bitch, and he's a good wrestler too.
Yeah.
Xavier Woods is more of a talker, like, you know. So that they have a good shtick. I would like to see them get more serious though.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I thought that was just going to happen with the Wyatt family when they feuded with the Wyatt family, but that was one match and it was done.
That was one match and it was done. That's kind of.
See, they built that up. You could have used that for another 6 months.
Right. Yeah. I don't really. Me and you could probably sit here and make a whole fight about how they book Bray Wyatt the whole time.
I think he's amazing.
I think he's awesome too. I feel like they don't know what. They don't want to put him in a situation where he'll lose, but they don't have anyone for him to wrestle. Kind of. I mean, he's about to enter a program with Randy Orton, I think, and he'll probably beat Orton, but Orton will probably beat him, and it'll be 1-1, and then they'll end it. You know, like I don't know.
I think you put a belt on Bray Wyatt.
I thought that's where they were going whenever in early this year he eliminated Brock Lesnar from the Royal Rumble. I thought that was a money match. Come to find out, Lesnar was eyeing a UFC return. Let's just be real. Like, I thought that his match with Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania 32 was going to be like hardcore, like tough as nails. And did you kind of read up about Ambrose's podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Yeah.
He kind of called Lesnar out. He said, I was met with laziness with that. And it was all because Brock was about to get ready for a UFC. So, I think let's talk about WrestleMania 32 real quick. What'd you think? Could it have been better than it was, or it was a lot of things working against it, injury-wise and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, you had all kinds of Cena wasn't there.
Cena, Orton.
Bray Wyatt wasn't there. You had a lot of guys out.
Randy Orton, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, they did the best of what they had.
I think so too. I would have rather seen the main event be Undertaker and Shane and Cell. I think that even though Reigns winning the title against Triple H, you know, fan reaction to Reigns is up and down. You know, it's just it is what it is.
I think he's great.
I think he's good too. I think his character could be a little bit different.
I think he'd be better as a heel.
I do too. I think Seth Rollins should probably have turned babyface. Reigns turned heel, but then Reigns got suspended. We talked about this earlier and stuff like that. But kind of got off track there. All right, let's get on there. Charlotte beat Sasha Banks. Sasha had just won the title. Let's talk about the women's division real quick. It's kind of seen a big resurgence in the past year or so. Really, probably better than it has been out of any time in the history of the company.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a big fan at first when they decided to split the women up in the draft. That's kind of what I was talking about a second ago because I didn't think you had enough.
I still don't think that.
You would have rather seen them all on one show?
Yeah. I mean, why do you don't have enough women wrestlers to do?
That's what I thought.
Belt.
That's what I thought. But since then, I think they brought a lot of NXT people up and stuff like that. And then
I guess you do there. And you got people in other New Japan, Ring of Honor.
They've signed more talent to NXT. I still would probably rather all see them on one show, but I think that's good that you get them both on both shows and you have prominent storylines with both of them. Sasha, basically, I think the reason she lost this match is because she has a back injury right now. I don't think it's anything serious, but they say she'll be out until about towards the end of September.
I thought they said she had a wellness.
That was Eva Marie.
I thought it said Sasha did too.
I don't think so. I think Sasha had a back injury. Let me look it up real quick.
Sasha's great. She's a hell of a wrestler.
Oh yeah, that I think. And look, her and Charlotte could go for a year if they booked it right in the storyline. That was a. In fact, I was surprised they let her win the belt on Raw for the first time instead of SummerSlam.
Yeah. I
was surprised they say that, but
I think you gotta put the SmackDown belt on Natalya though.
Natalya?
Yeah.
Natalya, Becky Lynch. Natalya has been one of the best workers in the women's division.
That's my girl.
She's a pretty girl, man. But she just for whatever reason doesn't get the recognition like the other girls do.
Becky Lynch is good too.
Yeah. Recently, this past Monday night, Bayley got called up to
she's good.
Raw. She's good. That big Nia Jackson, she's The Rock's cousin. Big, 6 foot, whatever she is, girl.
Kind of like Tamina Snuka.
Yeah, she's bigger than her too.
Yeah.
She reminds me of her though. That girl, she's gonna be the next monster, monster heel, Brock Lesnar of the women's division or whatever if you build her up right. All right,
that's
so
the key word, if they build her up right.
If they build her up
right. They
have
had a bad 2 years of making storylines and building characters and doing everything.
That's why I'm glad
they're ass backwards.
Yeah, man. You know, and I like the storylines that take a while to play out, but they play out right. But it's just kind of my generation, and really maybe even younger than me, that they want fast. They want everything now. They want everything soon. Man, I look back at the last storyline that played out for over about a year or even a half a year was Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, the Authority. He won the belt at SummerSlam in 2013. Came out, they screwed him. They took that from SummerSlam to WrestleMania, and it culminated in 6 months, and it was awesome.
Yep.
Or even longer than that. But they played it out, and they played it to perfection. A lot of times fans thought they're screwing Bryan, but they always have a plan. So whenever stuff like that happens, I think it's, wow, they've really thought this out within, I don't know, it seems like they booked stuff too soon they should have and stuff like that.
I'm going to tell you, I think the staples is what they're missing these days. When I was younger, you had DX.
Oh, yeah, stable, yeah.
You had NWO.
Oh, yeah.
Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
Ministry of Darkness when I got a little bit older than that.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I remember I was glued to that TV trying to figure out who the third member of NWO was.
Yeah.
And when it was Hulk Hogan, it was like, you might have told me it wasn't a Santa Claus.
Right.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan's a bad guy now?
Yeah, man.
I remember I was about 11 years old.
Well, that's when wrestling was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was at its peak, let's just say it.
And DX, that was one of the greatest segments ever on Raw was from DX.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you put together another DX? Get Triple H to make another DX. Let Seth Rollins head it up. Put Dolph Ziggler in to play Shawn Michaels. You got different guys you could, you know.
And I think that, well, it's not the Attitude Era for one anymore, as much as we probably wish it would be, but I think that it's kind of at the point where, I don't know.
They made the show. You got one guy, your monster face, coming there and beat up a whole stable of heels.
Austin.
Yeah.
Austin or Rock.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's...
another one. McMahon-Helmsley faction.
Yeah. Corporation,
whatever it was. Yeah. Triple H.
You had all that.
What you do is you had your main heel, your Triple H or your Undertaker or Ric Flair. Your stable was usually the heel group. And then you had your baby face, who's the badass.
So 1 week get his ass whipped, 1 week come out there and beat him.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock.
Sting
with the NWO, man. I wasn't around. I was around, but I was too young whenever that 1997. But that was a great Goldberg. What I was talking about earlier, Daniel Bryan was the face versus the Authority. Triple H, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton.
And they got it right that time.
Got it right.
If they do that more often, you're going to get more viewers in. You're going to get more people from my generation back watching it.
Bray Wyatt they could do that with Bray Wyatt, now, but they split the family up.
Yeah, and I don't know why. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I would have rather seen Anderson and Gallows go with AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Although I think AJ doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't, but I mean, it'd been good anyway.
Yeah.
But they're talking about bringing in a woman, Sister Abigail.
Yeah.
To put a woman in there with him.
I would have rather seen Finn Balor. I know he's hurt now, but I would have rather seen him debut with the club.
Yeah.
That could have been the next Shield right there.
It could have.
And Finn Balor would have been the guy, and you put him against AJ, you put him against Roman, you put him against... The way I booked it in my head was Finn Balor's going to come out at the Money in the Bank or whatever and debut, and the club is going to beat the hell out of Rollins and Reigns. And then at SummerSlam or even down the line Survivor Series, you're going to see Ambrose come back. The Shield versus the club or whatever. I think that would have been a good money. But now Finn Balor's hurt and stuff like that. And then you could always go back to the whole demon persona that he's done.
Yeah, because he didn't do that before.
Yeah, you always had that.
You got Finn Balor and then you got the Demon King.
You have two separate things. But I agree with you. But let's get back on the card. You have The Miz beat Apollo Crews defending his IC title. I don't really want to say anything about that match. Although, have you seen Miz and Daniel Bryan's promo?
I love that.
I love that shit too. That was real.
That's what you need more of. That is my era of wrestling. Early 2000s, late 90s. Make you feel like it's real.
Right.
Like he's talking to him as a person, not as a wrestler.
I wish it would have happened on the, it happened how it happened. I think it happened organically. I wish it would have happened on TV instead of on the network after the show went off the air.
That's why they did it like that.
Yeah.
People say on the network, this comes on the network after all. We got to get this so we can watch it.
Yeah. Do you think that was a work? Basically, for people, I'll explain it this way. Miz you explain better, Miz. He's kind of has this persona where he was a real world guy. He's a fake wrestler or whatever. He's, I don't know, corny.
Movie star.
But in real life, he kind of has this persona like he's the Miz. And Daniel Bryan, who can't wrestle anymore, who had to retire due to concussions, neck injuries, or whatever, was the indie darling. He was the whole crowd.
Worked his ass off fairly.
Paid his dues. Miz came straight from the real world, went to Tough Enough, and was on the WWE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the look.
Yeah, it's just two separate personalities, and basically, Daniel was probably working whenever they said this, but he said, "You didn't beat Apollo Crews. You wrestled him like a coward."
Yeah.
And I guess Miz has been thinking about this all over in his head, but he basically just went off on him, and man, like that's going to be the thing to watch at the end of the podcast. I want you to watch that promo because I can't even explain it in words.
I watched that, and then, man, it was great.
It was great. Do you think they were working or were they shooting? Or was it a mix of both?
Probably a mix of both. We're going to go out here and see what comes up.
Did Daniel Bryan, whenever he got up and walked out, do you think he was really pissed off? Or
no.
He
I
was?
doubt it. I mean, that was all probably for the camera. He knew when he needed to get up and go.
Well,
Let Miz have the stage, you know what I mean?
Miz can cut a promo, though. Before this, he could cut a promo, but...
Well, on the real world, he's full of shit. You know what I mean?
Bro, I used to watch the real world, But since that,
personality.
right, since that, I don't know how true this is. I read a report that Daniel Bryan, I don't know where one of those came from. It might have come from Dave Meltzer, who's the king of wrestling, pro wrestling news.
Era Hawani of wrestling.
He's the Adam Schefter or Adam Schefter, what it is to the NFL. Daniel Meltzer is at the pro wrestling, and he gets I pretty much, if Dave Meltzer reports something, you can pretty much rely on it that it's pretty damn accurate. You know, Dave Meltzer said that WWE hadn't completely shut the door on Daniel Bryan coming back to the ring. Like, it's kind of like I think it was like a UCLA doctor told him he could wrestle again, but WWE's doctors wouldn't clear him. Well, I don't know how true that is, but
I didn't understand it because the way they explained to it.
You read that report?
I read that what kind of surgery he had. Kind of surgery he had, the same kind of, I mean, I've had neck surgery and back surgery, so I know about them.
Okay.
John Cena's had 2 of them. In the same exact spot mine is. Daniel Bryan's were a little higher up, I think.
I thought Bryan wasn't necessarily neck, it was concussions.
It was his neck.
Okay.
I think it was, the higher you get to your brain on your neck, I mean, it's iffy on what you can do. Because paralyze you, different things. I think his was a little higher up, so they're worried about that. But John Cena's had 2 surgeries lower than that in his neck. He's still getting it. I think they're just buying time. And this may be the time that they let him come on back.
He comes back just to wrestle the Miz, and then
no,
he comes back full time.
Full time. They were just doing this to buy the time until he could wrestle again.
That's interesting, and man,
If you think they just thought of that brand split here lately, think about it. How long ago you think they were talking about this brand split?
Dude, I don't know. It's interesting now that you say it, though, because that's a hell of a plan if they've been doing it. That's true. But I never thought that Bryan was coming back because he retired in the ring. He got on Raw, and he had the big emotional farewell, which was awesome. And, you know, it was sad and all those stuff like that because he fought so hard, and finally whenever he won the belt and raised it in the Superdome and all those stuff like that, a month later he was out. I don't know. I'm kind of iffy, man. I would love to see him back in the ring. It would be tremendous if he could get back in the ring, but I don't want to see him get hurt.
How many wrestlers do you think retired and came back?
Shawn Michaels. Only person that's never done it yet is probably Steve Austin.
And
if
Undertaker?
Undertaker wrestles once a year about now.
Triple H retired. He's come back every year at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Man, if Austin is probably the only one that, well, even after Ric Flair had his big match with Shawn Michaels,
TNA.
he went to TNA. And he said recently he regrets that, but he couldn't turn down the money because it was so good.
I think that's a bad idea if they could make a feud between these guys. They need to put somebody and let him. I think he needs to drop the belt to Apollo Crews, a young up-and-coming guy.
Miz?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if they're going to do this and let Daniel Bryan come back, let him do it. That's what I think.
Well,
because Daniel Bryan, he doesn't need a belt run to make him relevant. You know what I mean? He's got everybody behind him already. And I've never been a fan of his. Never have.
Daniel Bryan?
No.
Really? You didn't like his whole story for the WrestleMania 30 thing, or?
I mean, I think that's all great, but to me, a world champion needs to be
You're
the heavyweight.
You're the bigger guy, right? Okay.
I watched it coming up. You know, you got the big guys fight the big guys, and the small guys, they intercontinental champions, your TV champions, your U.S. champions.
It's definitely been a different case. Okay, but since you said that, let's talk about a smaller guy. Let's talk about AJ Styles. Wrestle John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
You think AJ has world champion material?
Yeah. I think he should have been years ago.
In WWE?
Yeah. I think he should have been there.
I think this was a case of them signing him being like, it's either now or never, you know?
Yeah.
His match with John Cena was by far the match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
For all the faults that people want to, you know, give about John Cena, Cena sucks, let's go Cena sucks, whatever. That guy has earned so much respect in the past several years that I want to say he is at the level whether you think he's as good of a wrestler or whatever, he's at the level of the Ric Flairs, the Stone Colds, the Undertaker as far as respect.
Yeah.
He's the top guy.
Taker kind of passed the torch to him.
He did, yeah. So
that's another guy I've never been a fan of. Never did care for him.
Undertaker?
Nope, never did.
Why not?
I don't know. I just never.
But obviously you respect him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Shawn Michaels, they could have jumped ship in WCW with the rest of the guys, and WWE would have been out of commission, but they didn't. And they won the war.
Yeah.
Mainly because of him and Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Future podcast, I'd like to sit down and break down the Monday Night War with you from start to finish. I think that would be a hell of a...
Oh, we can do it.
We can do it. All right, well, and let's get back to this. AJ Styles, John Cena had the match of the night by far. Cena put Styles over in the middle of the ring clean.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people were surprised at that, but do you think it's kind of showing that Cena's... Obviously, he's taken a step back a little bit. He's not in the ring-wise, he's at the best he's ever been.
Yeah.
But just from, okay, I don't have to be your champion every week. You can have the younger guys come up. I'll be the guy that goes out there and helps put over the new stars and stuff like that. But they're gearing AJ up for a world title, I think.
Yeah.
Which is well deserved. Is Cena taking a step back?
I think so.
Do you think he's getting ready to retire, or?
I think they're gonna let him tie Ric Flair at least. If not beat him.
What I think is that his world title?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be probably Cena's last great storyline he has.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's wrestled everybody else.
I mean, Taker.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania.
I feel pretty confident, barring any sudden injury. Like, we would have seen that at WrestleMania 32 had Cena not got injured.
I think you're going to see it at 33.
And I think you are too. And I think that would have been Taker's last match.
Yeah.
I think you kind of lose the allure a little bit because it's not the streak anymore, but still, it's Cena's last big money match after the whole world title record chase.
And we talked about this before. I think he should have been the one to break the streak.
Well, I thought so too at a time, but now that the way that they've sold Brock Lesnar so much as a monster and all that, he's gone through everybody since then. I would have never liked to seen the streak broken. I probably would have much rather seen him ride off into the sunset. But if Taker didn't want the streak to end, the streak wouldn't end.
No, he wanted Brock Lesnar to do it. You know?
Yeah. And they made Brock.
I think that's what they had to do to get Brock Lesnar back into wrestling.
You think?
Yeah.
See, I read a report though that Lesnar was kind of like, "You want me to do what? You want me to break the streak?"
You see what happened in the UFC fight. When Lesnar lost to Cain Velasquez, they're interviewing Undertaker.
They wanted that a long time
ago. And he
ago.
walked by, and Undertaker said, "You ready to do this or what?"
Yeah.
And Brock Lesnar kind of turned around and looked at him and kept walking.
Yeah, years ago. Yeah.
Because he's a big MMA fan.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think Cena's going to retire this year or next year, probably the year after that. But I think he's just taking a reduced schedule. He's taking a step back a little bit.
His love interest.
Yeah, the guy's been going.
If I had that, I'm over there now.
The guy's been going 100. Yeah, he dates Nikki Bella. The guy's been going 110 miles per hour for the past decade.
Yeah,
more. So
he's earned it.
He's earned it, and if he wants to take a little step back, and he wants to do more TV and stuff like that.
The thing I respect about him the most is they want him to turn heel. He told them, until you get somebody to take my shoes, doing these Make-A-Wish Foundation events
and they haven't found
for his kids, I'm not turning heel because nobody's going to want a heel to come do the Make-A-Wish.
Right. That was the same reason Goldberg didn't want to turn heel.
Exactly. And you cannot do anything but respect him for that.
Oh no. Well, and I don't think he needed to turn heel. He's an anomaly. He is what he is. He's John Cena.
Kind of like Hogan never needed to turn heel.
Hogan did great when he turned heel.
He did, but he didn't need to.
He didn't need to.
Cena would do great turn heel too, I think.
It'd be an NWO, but he doesn't need to. You might still see that down the road.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of life left in him.
Yeah. But there was a great video I saw of Cena where he said, you know, I'm not going to change. I think it was maybe whenever he was getting gearing up to face The Rock at WrestleMania 28. He said, people can tell me what they want to and all sorts of stuff like that, but I'm not going to change who I am to please a certain part of the crowd or please a certain genre or whatever. I'm going to stay true to myself. So I think that was good, and I think one day he will break Ric Flair's record. Ric Flair has gone on record saying, I'm not going to have a problem with that at all.
Yeah, because he's put in his time, put in the work.
Yeah.
Not just in the ring and for the company, but for other things too.
Yeah.
Can't even respect that guy.
Next match, Dean Ambrose defended his WWE Championship against Dolph Ziggler. Wasn't the best match of the night. It wasn't a horrible match, but I really expected more out of these guys. I don't think they got the time allotted to this match that they probably should have deserved. I thought this was a great storyline going to SummerSlam. They kind of gave Dolph a resurgence. He was cutting hell of a promos. That super kick he's kicking people with looks damn good. I was kind of looking for an upset here. I was looking for Dolph to turn heel and take the belt because I don't think Ambrose impressed a lot of people when he got interviewed by Austin on his podcast. He said some things. He didn't say anything really, other than the Lesnar thing. He just wasn't, I don't know, I don't know if he's the guy that WWE wants representing their company year-round. Not saying he's a bad guy or anything. He's a different type of guy.
I'm going to be partial to this because between Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler, those are my top two guys.
Really?
I like those the most. Dolph Ziggler reminds me a lot of Shawn Michaels.
He does.
And Randy Orton. The Viper.
Who we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, he's bad.
Always
he looks like he can really fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's always been the anti-hero.
YouTube that interview with him and that reporter from Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
Give the audience a brief take of that. I will YouTube it later. But
the reporter asked him, "What do you eat for breakfast?" So Randy Orton goes and tells him what he eats for breakfast and everything. He said, "Oh, well, do you drink a lot of milk because you've been injured a lot of times with your bones and everything? You must be soft."
What is that? Huh?
Yeah. And Randy Orton looks at him and said, "You think I'm soft?" And he said, "Well, you've been injured a bunch of times, you know, I'm just saying you might be soft." He's got the title at the time.
Yeah.
He puts in that title. He said, "Call me soft again." He puts his nose on that guy's nose. "Call me soft again." He said, "I'll headbutt your teeth through your skull."
And
said,
look,
say something. Say something out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And the guy doesn't say a word. Oh, I forgot I think he takes the guy's glasses off and throws them on the floor.
Really?
Yeah. And the dude don't say nothing. He grabs the baby and says, "I'm out of here." And leaves.
And look, I love that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon probably doesn't love that type of stuff because he's got a corporate company now that he's got investors and shit to like.
Well, that was before that.
Really?
That was Randy Orton's younger days when he had the belt.
Okay. But yeah, we're playing. Randy's a badass. So you're partial to Ziggler, though?
Yeah, I am. I think Ziggler has been shit on as a WWE superstar. I think he could have had a bunch of good title runs. One got cut short by concussion.
Yeah.
When they did give him the belt.
Yeah, I think they always viewed Ziggler as a guy that they probably had big plans for at one point to be the next Shawn Michaels type. I don't think anyone would be like Shawn Michaels.
No, but he's the closest thing they got.
But as far as like in the ring, you know, style, closest thing they probably have. I thought they expected that, and whenever he got hurt, it was like, well, we can't rely on you anymore. You know, you get these concussions and stuff like that. But so what were you looking for to happen in that match? And
I was looking for Ziggler to upset him. And then I was looking for Dean Ambrose to kind of flip out and kind of feud with Shane McMahon a little bit. Being that he's already feuded with Stephanie.
Turn heel?
Yeah. I think he's a better heel than he is a face.
Well, we've never seen a Dean Ambrose as a heel. I think he would have a character resurgence. Except in the Shield, yeah.
I think he'd do hell of a heel.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of Brian Pillman from back in my era.
Oh yeah, they brought that up a lot. He's the number one babyface on SmackDown, barring Cena.
Yeah.
But Cena's not there every week, so who would be the number one face? In your opinion, Ziggler? Who would you make the face of SmackDown? Ambrose is the face of SmackDown right now, I guess.
Oh yeah, I'd make Ziggler.
Make Ziggler the face of SmackDown? See, I always thought that they were going to turn Ziggler heel. But he can sell so good in the ring that he can bump around so much that he's probably a good face. So we'll see. I think hopefully they keep, even though Ziggler lost at SummerSlam and he lost the final night to AJ Styles, hopefully they keep him on the right track and they build him up some more.
That's what I like about him. He'll put over talent. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He'll put over the younger guys, put over Baron Corbin for a long time.
A guy who he should have beat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Dolph Ziggler's a good enough worker. He should be at the top of the company, I think.
Okay. You think he's up there with Seth Rollins?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No, for sure. I do too. In the ring, I think that they beat him so much that it's going to take him a while to build him back up.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of being patient with that.
And he brought him back up with Ambrose so much, and it was almost to where it needed to be. And then you throw him back
and
down.
bringing the super kick back, man.
Yeah. Who doesn't like that?
Shit, everybody was using the super kick. Every freaking tag team in the world and their mama was using the super kick. That's another thing. They need to stop this, bro. When Shawn Michaels hit the super kick, besides when he kicked Undertaker at WrestleMania, he pinned you. That was it.
Done.
It was done. Now everybody and their mama does a super kick.
Not like Dolph, though.
No, not
Dolph
like
hits it good.
Dolph hits it good, but that's what I like about it. That's what I'm kind of saying. I think they need to go back to protecting finishing moves. Like everybody, even though Cena and AJ Styles was a great main event, AJ Styles kicked out of the FU twice, once off the top rope.
Yeah.
Or attitude adjustment, whatever you want to say.
Yeah. I don't like that.
I don't like that either. I think you should. Hulk Hogan's finish was a drop kick.
Leg drop.
Yeah. Or not drop kick. Sorry, leg drop. Yeah. But everybody
Man had a flying elbow.
Yeah. Everybody else and their mama could do the leg drop, but when Hulk Hogan did it, he got a 3 count. You know, it's just kind of.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Stone Cold Stunner. Nobody kicked out of the Stone Cold Stunner.
Except The Rock.
Except The Rock. And it's okay to kick out of the finisher, but you want to save it for the WrestleManias.
And maybe they needed that to build AJ Styles up.
Yeah.
For his title run he's fixing to get.
He's going to get it, I think.
Yeah, I think he should too.
I think him and Ambrose would be a good program. Yeah. Even if Ambrose doesn't turn heel. I think AJ, he's doing some good heel work right now as far as promos and stuff, but I think he'd be a good babyface.
I don't know why they turned him heel if they're going to do the brand split. Why turn him heel and join him at the club and split the brand?
Well, that just goes.
Maybe that was the feud with Cena to get him more over.
Yeah, because they're not going to turn Cena. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the co-main event. Finn Balor, the Demon. Seth Rollins won the Universal title. First of all, you like that name of the belt, the Universal title?
Not really.
Not really. And Dana Bryan was making fun of it. Like, they're going to have the Galaxy title next or whatever, you know. But again, that's something that I wasn't really a big fan of. I would rather see that there one heavyweight champion and then they go between both shows. One women's champion, go between both shows. I think you can maybe get away with 2 tag team champions. You know, you have the U.S. and the Intercontinental that are exclusive to both brands, but that's just, again, it's kind of nitpicky stuff for me. I don't hate 2 world titles, but I think it kind of devalues when you have one. You know?
I like the way they did it the first time.
Where it was like one undisputed champion.
The World Heavyweight Champion, and you had the WWE Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, why not? Instead of the Universal title, why not just bring the World Heavyweight Champion? That's a great looking belt.
New and different, you know what I mean?
But it's not that different. It's just the same title except it has a red strap.
They're going red for Raw and blue for SmackDown. I think they'll end up changing the World Heavyweight, the WWE Championship to blue.
I mean, it's nitpicky stuff for me. You know, I don't think that's really too big in the grand scheme of things as long as the storylines go good. But me, I would have one world champion between both shows. But so Finn Balor debuts. What are your pay-per-view debut? I should say. What are your thoughts on Finn Balor? Do you like him? He's a smaller guy.
Yeah.
But
he's a hell of a worker. His entrance is amazing. That entrance with the lights and
only on pay-per-views. I don't need to see it every week. It's something special. You know?
Yeah. Exactly. I think it's the only way he turns into Demon King, man.
Yeah.
They don't do that every time it comes out.
No. Yeah.
He's a smaller guy.
So is Ziggler, though.
Yeah. But they're not small as Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan can be a cruiserweight.
So Finn Balor beat Seth Rollins. Did you see that coming? What did you think? I know we're going to talk about the injury in a second, but
I figured when he won that chance to be in it, I figured he was going to beat him.
They were trying. I think he still will be when he comes back from injury, but he was the next baby face of Raw.
Well, Seth Rollins is over already.
Oh yeah.
They don't have to do anything to get him over.
If Seth Rollins turned babyface, he'd be over even big.
Yeah.
Hopefully, where they go with this is that next Monday night it's going to be whoever wins the world title. What I'm hoping is Rollins wins the belt. Reigns wrestles him. Reigns turns heel. It's a double turn at the pay-per-view or whatever. Because I think that Reigns will be better as a heel. And Rollins, his moveset, his high flying stuff works better for a babyface. Although he's a great heel too.
I don't like where Rollins works though.
Injuries?
Yeah.
You saw what Bret Hart said. I was fixing to get to that.
Well, I saw him. He hurt himself doing that powerbomb. He hurt Sting doing that powerbomb, and now he hurt Finn Balor.
He broke John Cena's nose.
Yeah. Very true. I forgot about that.
That was a bad.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
And then he almost hurt Monday Night on Raw.
Same.
Sami Zayn.
I think Sammy was. You know, my roommate.
He's working the ankle, but I'm talking about when he did the powerbomb.
Okay. They kind of need to chill out some of that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Bret. Let's talk about Bret Hart for a second. Bret, do you like Bret Hart? Were you kind of younger when Bret Hart was the champion for WWE?
I was watching it heavy when he was the champion.
Okay. So how old were you when Montreal Screwjob went down? Were you in high school? Oh, you were still young? You were 10?
You got to realize, like most kids watch cartoons, that's how I watch wrestling. From the time I was 3 years old to the time...
bro, same thing here.
Probably 15. I watched it every time it came on TV, anything, pay-per-views, all that.
Same here. One of my earliest memories I can remember, you know, Stu Dog is a big wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to watch it all the time. But one of my earliest memories, I was sitting in my dad's lap. I don't remember what it was, but I can remember Stone Cold Steve Austin was on TV. And he was drinking beer and stunning somebody and kicking ass and stomping a butthole and opening up a can of whoop ass on somebody.
Yeah.
I can remember that. That's one of my earliest memories. And ever since then, I've had times where I haven't watched as much and I have, but I'll be a fan for life. You know.
I think Montreal Screwjob was in '97.
Yeah, I remember. That's what kicked off the Mr. McMahon character.
And in '97, I was 12.
Okay. So, did you think it was real then? Or was kayfabe still a thing for you back then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, Bret Hart, have you read his biography?
I watched the Wrestling with Shadows.
Okay, I've seen that. Remind me, next time I see you, it's a long book. It's like 400 something pages, but it's real. You can keep it for as long as you want. Just make sure I get it back eventually. I'm gonna give it to you to read it. It's an awesome read. So far, I've read a handful of wrestling biographies. It's by far the best. But he goes deep into all that and stuff like that. And Bret, actually the book was published before he went to the Hall of Fame and stuff. Because at the end of the book, he said, I'll never forgive Shawn Michaels. And, he eventually did. But Bret kind of seems like he has a problem with Triple H these days.
Yeah.
Why is that? If he's forgiven Shawn Michaels, why does he have a problem with Triple H?
I don't think he ever liked any of them, to be honest with you. I still think he likes Shawn Michaels.
He's came out and I respect Bret Hart a ton because Bret carried the company from the 92 to the 97. He was a top guy, arguably, when business wasn't good.
Yeah.
You were in between Hogan and Austin. He was a transitional guy. He was a top guy. And I respect him a lot. He's great in the ring, but he seems a lot bitter about some stuff, man. I remember he said Triple H's match with Undertaker, the Hell in a Cell, the end of an era. You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
One of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life. He gave that a 4 out of 10.
He's bitter.
He said that match was predictable from end to end. Right. The match was awesome. It is what it was.
He doesn't like the Undertaker either.
Wow. I thought everybody loved Taker.
trying to think of where I saw this at. I think it was an interview on YouTube.
I think Taker's probably put him in his place a few times.
Yeah.
I think I heard this from Kevin Nash.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Kevin Nash is a real son of a bitch. Kevin Nash is good on some interviews, man.
He wanted to drop the belt to Kevin Nash, and he wouldn't do it. And Undertaker went in and told him, "You're going to drop the belt." And he said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Damn it, Brett, it's not about you. Everything's not about you.
Yeah.
It's about the company." And so he was taping his hands up. He said, "If you don't drop the belt, I'll be here."
He did that to Shawn Michaels too with the Austin thing, huh?
Yeah.
At 14.
Yeah.
When at 14, yeah. So
I taped up beside in the gorilla position a bunch of times.
They said he taped up and he was like, looked at. I've heard different accounts, but for the most part, they say he taped up and Shawn did the right thing at the end of the day.
I said Shawn Michaels, I mean, he was an asshole back in the day too.
Right, he went on redemption.
Yeah, and after he got saved, I mean.
You know Jim Cornette?
Yeah.
He hates Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, he does.
I don't agree with everything Cornette says, but he cuts a hell of a effing promo.
Yeah, he hates Kevin Dunn too.
Bucky Beaver too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. But you know who he hates worse? Russo.
Yeah.
Russo, you son of a bitch.
Everybody hates Russo.
You definitely do right, son of a bitch. Yeah.
I don't think nobody likes Russo.
Russo had his time, but man, he ain't there no more. Anyway, let's move on. But anyway, what I was saying was Bret Hart came out and said some not disparaging. He just said, look, he kind of was a little bit hard on Seth Rollins, and I think Seth Rollins kind of took that to heart because he said Bret was like his hero growing up. And but Seth probably needs to be a little bit safer in the ring. But at the same time, you know, everybody agrees to the spots that they do. Finn Balor had to have agreed to do that power bomb into the barricade. You know, shit goes wrong.
Yeah. He could have been a step to the left of where he was supposed to be when he threw it.
He maybe not put his arm out. You know, I don't know what happened. Yeah. But anyways, Finn Balor won the belt. He had to vacate it. They said he'll be back probably about 6 months. That puts him back in time really for the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. So maybe we'll see a rematch. But who you think Rollins going to get that belt or what?
I think so.
Who do you think should? Out of the four that are...
The only thing that kind of throws it for me is you putting Reigns on a roll to win the U.S. title. Then all of a sudden you take him off.
Right.
Throw him in this mix when you could have threw anybody in there.
What do you think about Rusev? Think he's world title material in the future?
Maybe so. I think they're watering him down this U.S. title run all the time. He's been the U.S. champion 3 times.
Yeah.
And they make him look indestructible, and then you make John Cena come out here and beat him up, and then Roman Reigns comes and does what he did to him. I think, to me, you put the U.S. title on Cesaro.
Yeah.
And they didn't keep it for a while like they did last time.
I did too.
He is a great up-and-coming guy. He's going to be there for a long time, and eventually you need to move him up. Now, why is he not in that Universal title picture?
Yeah. Cesaro's in the best of 7 with Sheamus right now, right?
Yeah.
I think he'll win that, and then he'll kind of move out. Okay. Go ahead.
I ain't much on Sheamus.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you what, though. Sheamus, he's stiff on a lot of the stuff he does, and like, I know him and Cesaro have had some really good matches before. I think if Sheamus was built up better, then him and Lesnar could have a hell of a match.
You could make him a monster, but they just don't do it.
Well, maybe that's, yeah. He's kind of had his time. He you know.
When he first came in, he was.
Yeah.
He was like Rusev.
Oh, yeah. Except he was world title.
Yeah.
Well, you know why, though? I heard he was Triple H's workout buddy.
Yeah, he used to be a bodyguard, a security guard for WWE.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's not taking away. I respect that.
They showed pictures of him with DX when they're going through the crowd.
Really?
Every time they're going through the crowd, Sheamus is on the outside of them wearing a little security guard WWE t-shirt.
Yeah, a lot of those guys are like developmental guys. They they bring around. Okay, so let's move up to the main event. We're in it. We're 50 minutes in, but we probably have a lot to say about this. We'll talk about it for as long as you want, and then we'll end it. Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. Let's start from the beginning. I thought the build-up to the match was great. I feel like at this point, since Lesnar's came back, he's wrestled Cena a handful of times. Probably don't need to wrestle him anymore. He's wrestled Triple H, don't need to wrestle him anymore. Undertaker, that's done with. Wrestled CM Punk once, which Punk ain't coming back.
Yeah. For
now, at least. And he's wrestled Rollins and Reigns. That's about it, huh? I think. I've been missing one. Ambrose.
Yeah, that wasn't.
But because of other stuff.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll have another match down the line. But I feel like you're kind of running out of opponents for Brock right now. You can build them more up. I think Finn Balor would be a great opponent for Brock Lesnar down the road.
Could be.
I think Bray Wyatt. I think they kind of missed the boat with that.
Yeah.
Guys like that. But at this point, for SummerSlam, Randy Orton was the only guy, big time guy, he hasn't wrestled yet. I think AJ Styles would be a great opponent for him too, now that I think about it. But it was a logical match to make. Build up was great. We were on vacation when Orton hit the RKO on Raw. That was awesome. And the crowd was going crazy. That was awesome. They made great video packages and stuff like that. So let's get to the match. I was really expecting something different. I was expecting a back and forth contest. A lot more given than Orton took. I was expecting him to give more to Lesnar than he took. And I figured Lesnar would win at the end. I think that was the right choice, but I didn't think he would win. I didn't think it would basically be a glorified squash match.
I don't think he should have won. Why do you let somebody win a match that's part-time against one of your top faces on SmackDown?
I think he's a different animal. I
understand that, but I think, to me, you got somebody that's there 300 days out of the year, barring injury, versus somebody that comes 3 times a year.
I think Lesnar was kind of the first to kick off this part-time thing, and you've seen Triple H do it. You see although they have paid their dues, Triple H and Undertaker. You see The Rock come back every now and then.
Cena about to start.
Cena's probably about to start. Eventually leaning more and stuff like that. I think Orton will eventually lean more and stuff like that. But I think Brock Lesnar is Vince McMahon's baby.
Yeah.
I think he does I think Brock plays by his own rules, and Brock does what he wants to do, and you've kind of got to do with that. We're going to take a pause for the calls right now. We've both been drinking a few beers. We've got to go take a piss real quick. So coming back to Cody Butler in just a second.
It's 7:30.
All right, we're back with Cody Butler. Look, one thing I've learned to do in these podcasts is there's really anything can happen, shit happens. But Cody had to take a piss, and I did too, so we kind of just had to click the pause button because we had a couple of Michelob Ultras here. But we were talking about Lesnar and Orton. So the match. You say you didn't get to watch SummerSlam, but obviously you've read up on about it. You think it definitely should have been more back and forth like it was?
Yeah, I don't think it should have been one-sided, especially for a guy that only works part-time. Even though he is a monster.
Let's talk about the finish real quick. The elbows.
Yeah.
To the head. I'll come out and say it, work or shoot. For those who don't know, a work, this is pro wrestling. A work is whenever you're wrestling, you're pro wrestling. Everything's, discussed about. You're wrestling. A shoot is UFC. It's it's
take it upon yourself to change.
The
work.
Yeah. Is it a work or shoot?
I think it was a work. I think it was a work gone wrong though. They say we're supposed to graze him with the elbow.
He elbowed the shit out of him.
Twice. Did he?
Yeah, dude, you saw it.
Yeah.
Watching it live, you saw it. I was like, damn. He started taking the gloves off. I was like, okay, this is what's going to happen. He's going to take the gloves off. Orton's going to hit the RKO. He gets on him. Boom, hits him one time. Boom, hits him one more time. And you saw it come out right then. He hit it bad. But first of all, there's a no blading policy in WWE, which some people don't agree with, but Maybe it's the right way to go with because of all the stuff that's going on. But blading is whenever they used to take a blade and they used to cut themselves. But it's a lot safer than
hold it together and then somebody punch them on that barely.
Yeah.
And then it busts wide open again.
Right. Dramatic effect.
Yeah.
Not safe, but a lot safer than busting somebody open the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of bent the rule. They kind of bent the rules with Lesnar though, a little bit. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure he bladed against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 31. Yeah.
Or I'll tell you what, too, though. I say that it could have been scar tissue from UFC.
Could have been.
Cause you see how easy Nate Diaz bleeds.
Oh yeah.
You pluck him, he bleeds.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
Then he's busted. Him and Undertaker busted each other up in the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Hard way though.
Mm-hmm.
Lesnar gets on, drops some elbows to his head, busts him open, the match ends. Referee calls for the match bell or whatever. Man, the reason I questioned was it a work or a shoot though, because Orton said in the build-up, I'm going to beat Lesnar and I don't need no enhancement. Talking about, obviously, Orton with the UFC thing. I mean, Lesnar with the UFC thing, whatever.
Yeah.
The failed drug test.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe Lesnar would have been pissed about that and maybe went into business for himself.
I don't think he's going to do that on national TV.
I don't think he would either. I think Lesnar respects
the
business more than people think he does.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I thought it might have happened that way though, but maybe he just got excited. I don't know. He's done the same thing to John Cena, except he did it a little bit, I guess, technically better in his first match back. He did the same thing. He took Cena down. He elbowed him once, elbowed him twice, busted him open, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't as vicious as that. That's why I kind of thought.
I think he was trying to graze him, and it just ended up hitting flush and split him wide open.
It'll kind of be one of those things that you never really know until Lesnar comes out and says it.
Yeah.
Yes, if he ever will. But
they will eventually.
And then let's talk about so Shane comes out, Shane McMahon. It looks like they're going to have a Lesnar-Shane match, which I think would be he's going to win.
Yeah.
But it could be some Shane McMahon's a hell of a performer.
Yeah.
So
he likes to do that.
He's crazy. He really is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So he likes to get in there and wrestle with somebody like who could literally kill you, like Brock Lesnar. And he'll probably hit him with some kendo sticks and stuff. But Shane went out there. He's like, hey, let me get to my guy. And Lesnar F5 and walked out of the ring. Paul Heyman's like, no. So when do you think they're going to wrestle? Or do you think they're going to wrestle?
I think probably Royal Rumble. Maybe Survivor Series.
I'm hoping Survivor Series because I think that's a one match.
4 big ones a year. You know what I mean? You got Royal Rumble, you got WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series.
Yeah.
The rest in between are just to hold everybody over to give them a little action.
Yeah.
So I think maybe Survivor Series leading up in 2 Royal Rumble.
It ain't something you need to say for WrestleMania.
No, I don't think so either.
I think you can have a point for Lesnar by then, but
maybe you hire Bray Wyatt, Shane McMahon hires him as
maybe so.
Protection.
Have a SmackDown guy.
Yeah.
What about Ambrose again?
I'd rather see him fight Bray Wyatt.
Really?
I'd rather see Bray Wyatt beat him and kind of build Bray Wyatt up.
Let's talk about what happened when Lesnar went back to the curtain. The Jericho thing.
Yeah.
You want me to explain this, or you want to take the reins on it? The situation. The way I read it was basically that everybody was glued to the TV because this was the main event. It had been probably had the best build for the whole card. Everybody thought it was going to be a good match, and when that happened with the elbows, Jericho was in the gorilla position, which is right behind the curtain.
Yeah.
You know that. I was listeners. But and then so Michael P.S. Hayes, who was a fabulous Freebird, is now a big wig agent / creative member for the WWE. I'm guessing he was the agent for that match, and Jericho says, "What the hell was that?" I don't know if he knew it was a work or a shooter. He was like, "What the hell, dude?" He might have asked. I want to say the report said that he asked Hayes, like, "Did you know about that? That was supposed to end that way." Because the match when it kind of, I would give it a C. I would give it a C grade.
Yeah.
It could have been an A, but I would give it a C grade for the ending. They say it wasn't supposed to end like that, but it was too much blood, and the referee said that's. So Jericho asked Hayes, "Did you know about that?" And Hayes said no, and he said that's bullshit. Like, yeah, you had to have known about that.
Yeah.
And as he said it, Lesnar was walking through the gorilla position, and all he heard Jericho say was, "That's bullshit." And then Lesnar called him something to the effect of a P word or asked MF or something like that. And they say Jericho got in his face and said, you know, dude, it's an effing work. Like, I mean, what the hell? Are you going to go out there and go for business for yourself or whatever? And then Lesnar was like, you know, either kiss me or punch me. You know? That's what he told him. And they said when Orton came back to the arena that he was like, look, it was supposed to happen, not quite like that, but I had agreed to it. Let's talk about the Chris Jericho and Brock Lesnar thing. We kind of texted about this a little bit, but man, I wish I could be backstage for this shit. Like, I mean,
Jericho's not scared of anybody.
No, he's legitimately tough. He's not an MMA fighter, but he's legitimately tough.
I don't think it's standing with Brock Lesnar, man. You got to be the crazier or have a set of nuts you got to roll around in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
One or the other.
We know Jericho has had a couple of backstage scuffles before.
Yeah.
And they say he's gotten on the better half of those against some bigger guys. I won't say who.
Yeah.
He can, but.
That and he makes his little guys, young guys, stand up against McMahon. Yeah. Kobe Kingston, he made him throw Vince McMahon down on the plane.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened with that?
Something about Vince McMahon said something to Kobe Kingston, trying to see where he could get with him.
Because Vince will play you like that.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if you don't stand up to him, he don't like you.
Right.
He'll throw you down the bottom of the
barrel. Stand up to him.
And Jericho told Kobe Kingston, you better go do something to him. If you don't, he's going to treat you like a bitch. And Kobe Kingston went up there and threw him down the aisle on the airplane and went to wrestle with him.
Yeah.
And Mr. Man, like he was going to fire him and all that. And he got back up and said, I like that. You got spunk.
Bro, I wish I could meet Vince in real life.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, ended up Vince and Triple H got in between Lesnar and Jericho. And I think some of the reports said something like Triple H kind of explained to Vince like.
First, Vince wanted to make Jericho go apologize.
Really?
And Jericho said, fuck that. I'm not apologizing for nothing. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And
Hunter
stepped in and told him, hold up. He didn't start any of this.
He was sticking up. He was sticking up. But see, Vince likes Jericho. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I told you that story, but I read an excerpt from Jericho's one of his autobiographies. He said that at WrestleMania 25, I think it was, he was getting ready. He was kind of working at an angle with Mickey Rourke, who had just made the movie The Wrestler. And he had said some disparaging things about Mickey Rourke on CNN or something like that, but it was a work.
Yeah.
But Rourke thought it was a shoot. So Rourke came in there with a bunch of bodyguards and was like ready to fight. And like Rourke was like supposedly an amateur boxer. Like he didn't nothing to joke about either. And Jericho was trying to explain to him like, dude, no, it's a work. Like I was just working you. Like I don't really think you're an asshole or whatever. I was trying to sell the whole thing or whatever. And supposedly like, you know, Rourke is Mr. Hollywood. He comes in with all these bodyguards, and Jericho went back and told Vince, and Vince is like, man, me, you, and Dean Malenko, must have been the Asian. He's like, me, you, and Malenko kicked all their asses. Look at that midget over there. The midget who was talking to the smaller guy ended up being Frank Shamrock.
Yeah.
And Jericho told him something like, all right, Vince, I'll let you fight the midget. You know? So Jericho's a tough son of a gun, but I guess they squashed that. They said Orton came back to the thing and said, you know, look, Chris, I appreciate it, but like it was planned. But recently they said that Orton got to the arena that day and they told him, look, it's not going to be back and forth contest. It's going to be one-sided. Lesnar can do this to you, and Orton agreed to it. They said it won't be happening again. Like, Orton kind of was wised up to it. And he's done with it, but like he's not happy about it, but he won't let it happen again or something like that. You know, something to that effect. But where do they go from here?
I think Lesnar goes with Shane, and then you got Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm like you with Bray Wyatt. I don't know why you don't build him up. Because both of those, you can't squash Randy Orton.
You just did. Yeah, you can't squash him again.
Yeah, you just did it already with Brock Lesnar. You got to throw him down there with Dolph Ziggler?
No.
You can't. He's 13-time world champion.
No. Yeah. One more thing about the Jericho thing, just kind of thought it was a fascinating story and funny. Jericho was kind of sticking up for, he kind of marked out a little bit, I guess, but he was kind of sticking up for what he thought was right.
Mm-hmm.
But you brought up a good, just like, look, if Taker would have been there, he would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
But you said, what'd you say about Brock and Taker?
I don't think it would have been the same thing.
You think Brock wouldn't have called him an ass or whatever he called him?
No. And he wouldn't have told him, kiss me or punch me.
Yeah, go after yourself or whatever he told him, yeah.
No. They had too much respect for Undertaker.
Yeah. We'll see, man. Two things I want the people to watch. If you have the WWE Network, go in on there and watch AJ Styles versus John Cena at SummerSlam. It was the match of the night. Mm-hmm. Definitely watch the Miz promo. Cody, you want to give him something?
The Randy Orton, the Japanese guy interview.
Go watch the Randy Orton for the Japanese interview. I haven't seen that yet.
I think it's how you find it is this fake Randy Orton promo. Because what they use is this fake promo that the old guy slapping the reporter and they got a bunch of Big Show gets aggravated with one guy. And
I think Vader got mad at somebody one time.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's all in the same category.
Okay. I'll definitely go check that out. Cody, like I said, we'll plan some future episodes, whether it be MMA, wrestling, football, something like that, man. We need to do it more often. I think we do pretty good on here, but until next time.
That'll work.